Welcome to Basel. So I bought a ticket and missed the bus by about 2.4 seconds. I'm still being very coldy, but I'm on holiday now, so I'm going to go into town when another green bus turns up and replace my SIM card.
Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
So I haven't flown into Basel for a while. I usually come into Geneva. I think I know my way around. I need to go find a new SIM card, so I'm going to head into the old town, and whilst I'm there, hopefully I'll get some lunch and also find a little Roger Federer plaque, because this is the town that he was born in, home of the greatest tennis player that's ever lived. I'll endeavour to try and show you some Basel landmarks. I'm not sure I know them that well. I know this cathedral because I've been in here before. I did my usual thing of climbing a cathedral. I always seem to do that when I get to a new city. That's here. I'm going to turn left up here in a minute to head toward the old town, which is a little bit prettier. Correction, that is the church. That is not the cathedral. The cathedral is further on. The cathedral is near the water. We'll get there in a moment. This is the main shopping street. Heading down, you can see the cathedral at the end there. It's big and it's red. Actually, sorry, not. I keep calling everything a cathedral. That's the town hall at the end. So a lot of the streets are closed off for traffic today because they're doing a little parade. I don't know when the parade's occurring. There's a lot of people standing around. But as I said, it's not exactly bustling. Swiss National Day is not till the 1st of August. This must be Basel related. Isn't this nice? Very peaceful apart from me sneezing the whole time. So these are the famous people of Basel. They're named as you go along on both sides. As you go up the road, it gets more and more recent. There's the one I was looking for. This road's a bit like a sort of mini Hollywood Walk of Fame. And they've got the placeholders ready for more famous Baselians. It's a very nice little street. Here are some of the paraders for Basel tattoo, traditional Swiss kilts. So I never actually made it down to the Rhine, which is a bit of a shame. I've seen it before from the top of the cathedral. If you go back in the vlogs until, when would it have been, 2010 maybe? But because I'm feeling a bit ropey, I'm heading back to the main train station. The train's about half an hour. There it is, the grand edifice. You've got a lot of the giant mundane clocks, one on each tower. Very much like the one on my arm. Only substantially larger, obviously. And they have the nice sweep second hand. They must cost an absolute fortune, those things. well, despite the fact that the train made up almost all of the time that it was late. It wasn't quite enough, and I missed the connection by approximately 30 seconds, which is very frustrating. And I'm now going to wait 40 minutes before the next train. So I thought I'd come out here and look at the view because it's amazing, and I might feel better about the whole thing. I mean, you know, it's a nice place to be stranded for a little bit, but it'd be nicer still if I was feeling 100%. So over here, arrived at Swaziman 40 minutes late, but that meant I got a lift from Swaziman. We came up, we saw Pin's room, which is this on the other side of that fence there, and then we went up to the chalet and dropped all the stuff, had a shower, got changed, and came back. So we're going to have some dinner here in the Hotel Diana. Good morning from the mountains. Very nice. It's a lazy Sunday morning. Here you can see the amazing geranium spread on 2 floors and the incredible vegetable patch. I'm still feeling a bit coldy, but a lot better. We're going to do a bit of a walk this afternoon, and maybe a little warm-up walk this morning. The weather is a little cloudy, but as you can see, but it's actually not too bad temperature-wise. And it's too good to stay indoors, really. So there's the chalet. We've just come for a little round walk up the road. We've made it to the top. Now we're going to go down the other side.
I might do both. Are you going to come on the Saturday when?
Made it to Swaziman.
The Trump team, Toby, are looking into all their investigators.
So we just had lunch in the post because we had a bit of well, apart from us going for a little walk, a bit of a slow morning. We're just going for a little wander because we've got to wait for a train to take us to do our next bit of walk. So we're walking up and down here, the high street. I'm going to put our boots on and go for a chug.
Press the button. It still thinks too early.
Yeah.
Doesn't it need? Has somebody pressed it? No. Does it go green when it's pressed?
So here we are, Uxity. Just about to make up the station name there. This massive conurbation is the station. We're going up to the crossing there, then down into the gorge, and then all the way back to Swaziman in the valley where we just got the train from. It's a little 4 kilometre walk or thereabouts. Lots of very wet moss. So we are walking now along the river. We came down the hill. And here we are. And so it sort of meanders like this for about 3 kilometres without it changing much. It's very pleasant though. I hear a dog further upstream. A family having a picnic because the river's so low, pretty much on the river. So a bit further round, saw from the time lapse, right down by the river, you can see this is all runoff from the hills, so it's ever so clear. It's also ever so cold and delicious, which is why my water bottle's filled with it. Here we are, crossing the ferocious gorge. Heading off down the valley to Toby. So we've made it to the bit I was thinking looks like Endor. That's where the Ewoks live. This is actually, you know, some sort of Go Ape kind of thing, which I've always quite fancied, but never got round to doing, to be honest. Here we are, we've arrived in the outskirts of Switzerland, heading for the car. Good morning, my voice is going. The clouds are clearing from the rain earlier, but there's more rain on the way. So it's still a bit, you know. We went to Mrs. Googly's this morning, and we're now going to do some shopping after picking a pin with Diana down the road. Weather's improving already. We're here on our standard Aldi shop day. It's brightening up down there. You look. So that's promising. So we've come for a bit of a walk towards the runway, having had lunch, following our shopping escapades this morning. We now have lots of food. Lots and lots of food. We're waiting on the last party to arrive at some point this afternoon / evening, and so we're just going for a little stroll after the big rain showers that we've had this morning, on towards the runway.
You wonder where all this water comes from. Well, it's melting snow, isn't it? Where do you think it's from? Well, there must be another in that side.
This is the usual level of activity at this airport, which is now a private airport. It used to be military, and it was bought by a private company who now use it for events and things, and the occasional aircraft landing. They do have their own private hangars behind these military ones, where they do bits. Come a bit further down, this is the head office of the new airport management people. There's a webcam here I always look at, which is pointing at us at the moment. And then this view towards Matten. So this is a little river that runs down the side of the runway. There's also a big river that runs down the other side, which is glacial. But this is just water runoff from the hills up here, and I've seen at least one fish. Well, I've seen two fish, but it could have been the same fish twice. Actually swimming up this river, which is a bit weird. Seeing as this is, still very cold mountain water, not quite sure how fish got in there in the first place when it's so fast flowing, and I don't know if it survives. So the only plane we have to take is this very tiny one there. It's a damp but interesting looking morning. The clouds aren't moving. It rained quite heavily last night.
See that in those specs.
And we're going to Mrs. Goobly's. The mountains beyond are somewhat missing at the moment. They may reappear later, hopefully.
Diverse sandwiches.
Oh yeah, excellent. Let's check in on local farming. Some farming going on here. Some farming going on there. Hello, Farmer Albs.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Don't step on my fat cat.
No, I'm going to stay off the corn.
Is that the cornfield one? Yeah. My fat cat is delivery caper.
Let's have a look at the vegetables. They look good. Clouds are lifting. So we've made it to Zalameza station. We've currently endured two pretty heavy downpours. One party is disembarking there. The other party arrived before us and has already disembarked. I can hear them, but I can't see them. They are hiding under the eaves. So we're off. This is about as big as the party has ever been, but it's also as slow as it's ever been.
That Saturday train was the new Saturday train, wasn't it? They just put a new badge, or they put the badge.
I think it's an old train with a new exterior.
Oh, he thinks.
Yeah. So we're a bit further down. And so we did lose half the party, who have decided the weather is not sufficient and that they were going to abandon. So they've gone back and we're carrying on. The weather is very, very mixed, so we're getting everything. Currently you can see we're getting what you might describe as quite heavy rain. But the mountains look quite spectacular in the clouds. Here we are, we've got past the Moose Bar with the bottom of Hornegley with some wigwams. The sun is coming out. It's a nice butterfly.
It's a moth, actually.
Oh, is it?
It's a moth. The moose bar.
It's to do with a marsh.
A moth.
A marsh bar. And this is the back of the farmhouse that you look out of from Zonnefreude.
And we've got some panels up there now.
Alex is just inspecting the booze bar.
Is there a moose in there?
I'd probably show you this every year, but that chalet in the middle there, the little one with the red shutters, is the chalet we first came to stay in when we were 4 and 2 years old, the same age as Walter and Albert are now. And was a chalet that my great uncle found in the 1960s and decided that it was a place that the whole family could come and go on holiday, because him and his wife and a few others were living in America, and there was our bit of the family were living in the United Kingdom. There are still bits that lived in other parts of Switzerland, and it was just a clever central base. So he moved everyone around, plus he had work in Italy, so he somehow found this place. We have the letter, but I'm still slightly unsure as to how he discovered it. And so that's why we started coming here as kids, because my mum came here as a kid, well, when she was a teenager, and so Walter and Albert are technically the 5th generation of our family to do that. My mum's grandmother came here towards the latter part of her life, so 5 generations in all. So the dry spell is just over. We just sat down on that little bench there on the side under the blue sky and had lunch. The blue sky's gone, so lunch is over. back into the grey. We're actually very close to Schönried station. It's only a 35-minute walk in total. Of the fact that we've taken like an hour and a half is by the by. So we made it. There's Fauci Sports. My great aunt used to stay in the rooms above there. Train station is just here. Behind these 3 hikers. Behind me is quite a view. Dry bit again. Before Negley, and again the mountains are clearing. They do have to do every hour or so. Schönried station. Just waiting for the train back up to Zalnimose, which is obviously where we left the car. So we're in Matten at the moment. This is Alex and Anna and Walter and Albert's little chalet. What's here? This is where they are. This is their rather enormous garden, and this is quite a substantial river that runs down the side of the garden. You can see it's still raining on and off. It stops and it starts and it stops and it starts, and it's been like that all day. And just going up the steps, which are made of all railway sleepers, into the town itself. That's where we're parked. I mean, they're literally in the town. This is the whole town. You're looking at there. That's it. So this is where we've just been. I didn't bring any waterproof cameras this year. Suffice to say, it's a very nice swimming pool, and even with 2 little people causing mayhem, it's still very good fun. In fact, the mayhem was the fun. But they're digging up the old outdoor pool, put a new one in. Right, homewards.
I can break
Follow the goats. Right, we're going to head along the path here, through the trees, see where we get to. Who knows? Past the goats and the horses. Oh,
What is this?
it's mud.
Mud.
Mud. Mud.
It's mud.
Where's mud?
It's not mud. Hello. Oh.
Want to take the cow?
I need to take some more paracetamol.
Where's Anne? Down that next bench. Sitting on that bench.
Catch up with Mummy and Dad.
And well and dressed, aren't they? I think so, yeah. Christ, carrying Albert all that way. More or less.
Are you alright with one stick?
No, no.
Huh?
It's the mud path and the dry path. We're nearly at the point where you turn back to the other direction to get to the middle station, which is right there by the barn. Photos have been taken, sustenance has been taken. Albert is fast asleep because he's not impressed by this whole alpine malarkey. He's over it, frankly. But it's quite nice.
We're trying to get to the middle stage.
We're trying to get to the cable car.
Why?
Well, so we can go back to the mummy car.
We could walk all the way
That's the view. It's pretty good.
down.
So we've found a strawberry patch. Such a lovely light as the sun fights through the clouds. Our path continues this way. If we come back round here, this is where the party is currently trickling in from. Action.
Can you show Toby the long grass? Where's a bit of long grass? There? Think shush, Molly. I've had enough, Molly.
Don't see them.
Right, we're continuing down. This is the only way. And the party is going to split into two. You can see the advanced party is going to get a form of transport to come and collect the rear party.
Anything to drink?
Cheese, yes, thank you.
Albert, anything to drink?
I'm taking a video, Walter, so you can say hello.
Actually, I'm glad they took them off. It means the taxi will see them on the way up. If the taxi comes this road.
Yeah, well,
Right, well, we made it after a taxi rescue.
Cable can't get all in the road, in the back.
So we're at 5 o'clock. They take all the cable cars off the ropes when they come down and they put them on the side. So they do it one at a time as they come down, they take them off. Guten Morgen. Clouds have lifted, but it's still a bit grey this morning. It's supposed to clear up later on and be quite warm. Well, yes, we could go swimming in the morning, I guess, as a thought. And then the plan was to go again somewhere higher to make the most of the views as they appear. Hello. This is the view from the garage above Matton. We were on our way to Rellerley, but due to a car park accident, which has caused the tiniest amount of damage you've ever seen, we are now at a garage to get an insurance assessment, which all seems rather silly, but there we go, that's what's happening. It's a very nice day. The sun is trying to come out. The clouds are as high as they can muster at the moment. The second party has gone round to Rellerley and is going up. They're probably up by this point. And we're just waiting for the morning to progress. Here we are at the bottom of Rellerley Grut. And at the top of it should be the other party, although who knows? Don't know where they are at the moment. They said they're at the top, their car's at the bottom. You can only hope. So that's where we're going. Here we are at the top of Rellerley. Forgive the windiness, it's always a bit windy up here. The view down to Zana. It's very clear today, you can see the high mountains, Diablerie, and what have you. Snow. Okay, I'm going for a walk. I'm the only person who is. The other parties are taking longer back down. One of them already has. And this will be the first time I've walked in these hills on my own. I'm trying to do quite a long walk, so Let me try and describe it to you in terms of what you can see in front of you. So there's a pylon, obviously. To the left of that there's a bunch of chalets with light coloured roofs in a little row. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yep, there we go, that's Zon and Mirza, so that's the first point I'm heading. And I'm heading down the valley to the left to a town just out of view called Swaziman. There's the plan. We'll update you as we go. Slightly weird sensation walking in the quiet. Especially this year, I'm used to a couple of small people pointing out every single train track and level crossing and tickling sticks and everything else. And usually, as you might have recalled in previous years, we sort of walk for a bit and then we stop and we look at a bug for like 5 minutes, and then there's an interesting flower and that's another 5 minutes. And we walk for a tiny bit and we stop and wait for parties to catch up, and then we walk again. So by the time we reach the first 15-minute signpost, we've been walking for about 40 minutes. So hopefully I might be actually on time this time, but that would be a first. We did this walk 3 years ago, last time Alex and Anna came with baby Walter, as he was then, and we walked down this here mountain, and we had a picnic right here on the left. And from that point onwards, I was carrying Walter in this backpack thing, and he was sort of singing to me for about the next, I don't know, 600 metres or so, and then he went to sleep and he didn't wake up until we got to the bottom. And Albert's kind of in that, he's a bit older, he's only 2, but he's in that place where everything's great until you're tired, and then you just want to go to sleep, and you can't be doing all this view nonsense. It's all too much effort. I sympathise. I think you get back to that place again eventually, but this is still a very nice winding road, pretty meadows. So I've been going just under half an hour. I'm making very good time, I believe. There's a little bench up there which we've had lunch on before when we walked up one year, and I know that I'm coming down quite fast because my ears aren't actually adjusting quick enough for my pace. Well, this is the other way to travel, of course. Cheat. Mind you, he has got milk share and he's probably making cheese, so all is forgiven. I think I'm going to stop and have my lunch on this bench. This is a bench. We've stopped at this bench before. We've stopped at basically every stoppable place along every walkable path in this part of Switzerland. But on the walk down I was talking about, we actually stopped here for a bit so we could take a group photo. And Walter was asleep, obviously, so I'm going to stop here again. Also because it's the first proper bench I've passed, so I really do have to make use of it. I think I'd like that one. That one seems nice. If you've got some money and you want to buy me, you want to be a rich benefactor, then go for it. It's just above Zahn and Mirza in Switzerland. Yes, where am I? It's very nice up here. You're slightly away from the main road because you're slightly above it. But we are now road walking, which is easy street really. It's not very up or very down. It's pretty flat, and I think I'm going to arrive in Zahn and Mirza after about an hour after setting off, which is pretty good because it said an hour and 50 minutes. So we're not quite twice schedule, but we're close. All this is good because it means I'll get home earlier, which means I'll be able to have a shower, which I'll need after this walk. But it's a lovely walk, and I've never done all these bits joined together, so this makes a nice change. So those are the light red roofs I was talking about at the very top, as you can see there, just at the end of this road, which is good news. I'm quite impressed how fast I came down there. I think at one point eventually you end up just as a passenger to your own legs. They're going and I'm just along for the ride. Gravity helps, obviously. The next bit is flatter, as I mentioned, but it's not entirely downhill, so it'll probably be not quite as fast. Well, here we are. This is Zahn and Mirza. This isn't halfway by any stretch, maybe a third of the way. But instead of it taking an hour and 50, it took an hour. So, and when I say a third, I mean in terms of time. Actually, no, sorry, it's about 2/3 in terms of, well, okay, let me start again. It's about a third of the way in terms of total overall distance. but it's about half the way in terms of time, because for some reason, imagine that first section is quite slow. Well, it wasn't. So it's because it's a bit steep, and so now we've got the flatter bit. Let's see how that goes. Or shall we see what the sign says to Swaziman? It says 1 hour and 30. So we'll be there in an hour, I should imagine. That's Cauldron. Haven't seen it before. Yeah, the other day. So off we go. 1 hour and 30. It's 4 minutes to 4. That barn is falling apart, but more importantly, it has a boat in it, which obviously is what you need. Bear in mind we're 100 metres above where the gorge is, and you couldn't put a boat in that river. We're quite a long way from a lake. Not quite sure why you'd keep it in your barn on the top of a hill. But who knows? The Swiss. They're strange sometimes. Just stopped for a refill, thanks to this trough here. You can see where I started now. Zoom. On the top of that hill there you can see a little hut. That is the top of Ellerley where I began, which is approximately 7.5 kilometres away. It is 25 past 4, going 1 hour and 25 minutes. And I just stopped for some water and finished my sandwiches. And then that next conurbation on the hillside is Ergzeiter. And then it's all downhill to Swaziman. So, this is a good workout, that's what I will say. Path continues under this alder. It's a nice alder bush, you can tell, because the little leaves wave at you, which is quite pleasant. And back there is from whence we've come, the top of the furthest mountain. We're nearly at the last sort of formal stop. So that's 1 hour and 50 minutes since I set off, and that was how long they scheduled the time down to Zarnemerse to be. And I am past Ergzeiter and on my way to Swaziman. I'm probably about 35 minutes, 40 minutes away, and it is literally at the bottom of this hill that I'm on. So it's a pretty easy journey from here. It's a very pleasant journey, and it's a very well made up road. And believe it or not, we've never walked this way before. The walk we did the other day from Ergzeiter, where I've just passed to Swaziman, we did in the gorge down here at the bottom, which is pretty, but ever such slow progress because it's very up and down. You have to climb over boulders and things and zigzag around. Whereas this looks like, I'm going to curse it now, but this looks intensely easy. Well, we're officially in the town. I mean, we're not anywhere near the station yet. We're still probably 15 minutes away. But this is very easy and very enjoyable. Walk with me a little bit, listen to how quiet it is around here. There is the destination. You can just see the tiny little clock tower on the station with the orange roof in the middle distance. What a lovely walk. Used a fair amount of energy, but still a very lovely walk. Luckily, we're going out for dinner, to Kristal, so that should recharge me. Well, we're on the train, so I made it. Just heading down to St Stefan now. Right, I'm going home for a shower. 8.5 miles later, and that's where we're going later on. I say later on. That's where we need to get in the car to go to in about 45 minutes. So, hence the speed shower. Here we are at this one, Kristal, halfway up a mountain. Excellent geranium selection. Here we have some hay soup.
It's hay soup.
Yes. Can I try some of the ridiculous gemischte salad? Beans. Yeah.
Should be served at the hay festival.
Melon.
Melon.
This is a vertical Schweinkotlet. See it from all angles.
Have you put that? Are you going to put it on the internet?
Yes, always. All food goes on the internet.
It's still going.
Here.
Oh, Walter was having a go on yours. Yeah.
Half year to exercise now.
Those dots down there is the Hotel Diana where we are heading. That's all you can see is dots. There's some more dots. That's St Stefan. Oh, you can see the tops of the mountains. There you go. That's all there is to see. Good morning. I'm just wandering down the hill to take a picture of this mountain that I manage to take every year to compare the differing levels of snow. Although this year, this is the first time I've seen it, firstly, and secondly, it's been quite wet, so there's lots of snow on the mountain, so this is quite an unfair comparison, but we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to do it with the old film camera and see how it comes out. And then after breakfast, I'm getting on a train, going to Geneva, getting on 2 planes and going to Norwich. There's Mrs. Goobleys. Come bearing croissants. Here's the Munchkin send-off party. Here's the train.
Doors closing. Should we chase Uncle Toby's train?
Bye, Uncle Toby. We love you. See you.
Oh, doors open again.
Doors open again? Oh, yeah. You've got a
It's just all arm.
Goodbye.
It's the first train journey complete. Just waiting for the next train to come in, which heads off to Geneva Airport. 2 trains, 2 planes and a taxi. That's what we're doing today. Unless of course it's a really short walk to this travel lodge. There's the train I came in on. Here we are at Geneva Airport, looking for my KLM flight to Amsterdam. Timing is perfect, as long as you don't like hanging around in airports, because there'll be none of that. You get to your gate, get on your plane, and piss off. Right then, here we are. This is Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. I'm now transferring onto the flight to Norwich, which I understand is an hour late. Never mind. This is where I'm going to end this vlog on a travel later. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you join me next week for Dale's Stag Do. Au revoir.